I want to tell you about a dream I used to have as a kid. Growing up in my country, I always imagined what it will feel like to live close to water. Maybe a river, a beach, or a lake. It didn't have to actually be anything grand. I just wanted to wake up in the morning, step outside and walk along something, alive, something moving. It sounds very simple, but for a long time, that kind of life felt like it belonged to someone else's, story, not mine. But I kept on dreaming. This morning, on the last day of the Golden Week here in Japan, I woke up, put on my shoes, and I just walked. No plan, no destination, just me and the morning air. But I had one place in mind, the lake, the Shinji Lake. And what happened at the lake, I genuinely didn't see that coming. Golden Week, what is it and what it feels like to be a foreigner living in it? For those who don't know, Golden Week is one of Japan's biggest holiday periods and a cluster of public holidays back to back, usually at the end of April into early May. Most people do travel, families go to the coasts, the mountains, the cities, and most hotels are packed. Trains are also packed as well, obviously, so everything is actually packed. But if you live in a smaller city like Matsue, it goes the other direction. The streets go quiet. People disappear into their homes or their road trips, and you get this rare version of the city, unhurried, empty, but very peaceful. Today being the last day, and tomorrow being a working day, and back to Monday, which begins the regular rhythm. For me, what that means back to school, and back to the week's routine. So this morning felt like something I really needed to protect. One slow morning before the pace picks up again. Walking through the city, setting up, there's actually something in the morning in Japan that does to you. It does something to you. The light hits differently. Everything is clean, quiet. Even the silence has this texture. It's not the silence of a place that's been abandoned. It's actually a silence of a place that's resting. As you get closer to the side of Matsue, there's an underpass. And honestly, it's one of those small things that, make you appreciate how thoughtful Japan designs its public spaces. It's clean, it's well lit. The layout actually makes a lot of sense. There's even an elevator. It feels like it was designed with specific experience in mind, not just to move people from one side to the other side, and also but also to transition them. So you go from one city side and then you come out on the other side by the water and the museum. And like I said, there is actually an elevator on the side, so for those who are unable to walk, it gives you that access as well. So if you come out of the underpass, the Shimane Art Museum sits right there on the shore of the lake. Every time I have been in the area, it's been a quick pass through. But this weekend, I'm planning to actually go in. I hear it's worth it, and of course, the pictures online also, states that, especially the collection and the view from the inside over the lake. I'll probably make a dedicated video when I do. But even from the outside, the building is very interesting. From the other side, where I'm working today, it's not really going to show you the edifice in a very grand manner. But once I make the dedicated video, you will see everything. So this is the streets. On the left side, we have Gasto, and we have convenience, or better still, convenience stores. And so even if you live in this very quiet area, you are still able to access, the very daily necessities that you need. So right near the museum, along the waterfront, there's actually this tower that I want to show you. Yes, so it's very tall, carved from what it looks like a rock. It stands alone with the lake, behind it, and you can sort of, you kind of have to stop and just look at it for a moment. It doesn't announce itself. There's no big signage or explanation around it. It's just there. Yeah. It's like always been there and would always be there, part of the landscape. I don't know the full story of it yet, but it's kind of a thing that makes you want to come back and find out. So Matsue has a lot of things like this, small details that reward people who slow down to look. And this is the moment that I have been waiting for, or you have been waiting for, and I reached the water's edge. So I had to take a look and then eventually to get down. So Lake Shinji, for context, this is one of the largest lakes in Japan. It's known for few things. First is the famous sunset views, and also the Yomigashima Island sitting in the middle of it. It's got its own story, and also the Yamato clams that that they harvest from the lake, and also it's part of Matsue's identity of centuries. But I wasn't thinking about any of that when I got there. I was just looking at the water, and then I looked it down, and guess what? There was a stingray right there just beneath the surface, and it was big, not some small thing that you can dismiss. Big, flat, moving slowly through the water, and just a few meters from where I was standing, I just stopped completely. And then I don't know if I was imagining this. It seemed to slow down too, like it noticed me, and for a moment we were just looking at each other. I think a Ghanaian man from West Africa and a stingray in freshwater lake in rural Japan at 7 in the morning. So I put out my phone and I quickly followed it along the edge of the water. I didn't stop. It didn't panic. It wasn't rushing as well. It was just doing exactly what it was doing, just moving through the water at its own pace. So I continued my walk. I didn't want to disturb it, so I kept a distance, kept my movement slow, and eventually it drifted further to the other side. So I stood there for a while and just processing that. So I kept walking after that, and still, a little bit stunned. And then I saw the swans. Well, my friend was still there, so yeah, we probably had to, say goodbye to each other, and it slowly drifted into the deeper water, and I continued my walk. So I continued my walk. And then the swans, not one, but three of them, big white, moving across the surface of the lake like they were absolutely in no hurry, nowhere, because of course they weren't. This is their home, and the morning was theirs, and nobody had told them there was a schedule to keep. I have seen swans in photos and videos, many times, but seeing them like this up close, no fence between us, no crowd, just on the edge of the lake, and they doing that morning thing, it was different. There's a kind of dignity to swans, the way they move, the way they hold themselves, completely unbothered by everything around them. So like they've made some very internal decision that peace is non-negotiable, and they are not open to renegotiating, I think. And there was the statue, or the shrine. I would call it the shrine, not the statue. Of course, the shrine is a statue, but those are the goddess of the sea. I took some close shots, tried to get low to the water level to get a better angle. At some point, one of them looked straight at me and just thought, yeah, okay, this is already the best morning I've had in a while. A Stingray and Swans on an empty Wednesday morning in Shimane, Japan. Nobody around, just the lake and the lights, and these animals going about their lives. So, walking back, I kept thinking about that dream I mentioned at the start. The kid who wanted to live near water, who wanted mornings that felt free. I also thought about something else. I've always had this image in my mind, playing golf on a Monday morning, not on a weekend when it's crowded. Monday morning when everyone else is rushing to work, stuck in traffic, getting on trains, and I'm on the golf course, and the grass is green and wet, and it's quiet, and I'm just there. That has always been my dream. And on the other side is the shrine. There's actually a story to that, which I made a video about in my previous shot, so you can check it out later. So, Golden Week is done. Tomorrow the rhythm picks up again, and honestly, I'm okay with that. The mornings like this one make the busy days make more sense. See you again. So if you've never heard of Lake Shinji or Matsue, I hope this gave you a reason to look it up. This part of Japan doesn't get talked about the way Tokyo or Kyoto does.